her and to talk about the things that we want to carry on in her name. So let's take a moment. Thank you. And thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Good evening. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This microphone is kind of loud. Okay. Maybe my voice carries. I'm Jason Johnson, the eldest grandson of Hazel Johnson, and I just wanted to first thank everybody for coming out to celebrate her life and her accomplishments this morning. So give yourself a round of applause. So I'm just gonna kick off the morning with a little story. I remember I was about 5 years old, and we went with our grandmother to Mississippi. This is like kind of the first time I ever remember going out of town, so it was interesting. So it was a long bus ride. I remember it was a long bus ride. And then when we got there, I noticed there was a dirt road, and I was wondering, like, why are we driving on the dirt? I didn't understand that at age 5. But then we noticed people were picketing, people were protesting, things of that nature. I didn't know exactly how, but I just felt like my grandmother's here to fix this, and Granny got this, she gonna take care of it. And most certainly she did. As I got older, I learned a lot more about my grandmother's work. We're all familiar with racism and discrimination that goes on even to this day. But my grandmother began aware.
Let me go to my cards. Put some tape around. Hey guys, thanks for joining us right now. We're watching the presentations. Apparently, I guess somebody accidentally kicked out a cord or something, so microphone went out. So sorry about that. But they're back on right now. So we're gonna
pretty
continue.
much, we're all aware of the discrimination, some of the racism that still exists in our society today, unfortunately. But my grandmother, at a very early stage, recognized a more sinister version of this. Nobody was talking about environmental justice. No one was talking about environmental racism. But my grandmother observed these things. She noticed the high rates of cancer and respiratory illness in our Gale Gardens and communities like this. She noticed the unlawful dumping of waste in our soil and our water. And she spent the last 20 to 25 years of her life combating this issue and fighting for equality and justice. And my grandmother's legacy still affects me to this day. So what I do, 9 to 5, I work with small businesses. I help them launch their enterprises, et cetera, et cetera. And sometimes I have that client who says, I can't do this, I'm too old, I started too late, et cetera, et cetera. My grandmother spent the first 50 to 55 years of her life as a wife, a mother, and later a widow. She spent the last 20 to 25 years of her life as an advocate, as a hero to many, honored by 2 presidents, mentored a future 3rd president, and those last 20 to 25 years are why we're standing here today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my aunt and the Executive Director of People for Community Recovery, Cheryl Johnson.
Wow, what a standation, and I thank you guys. I really appreciate you really coming out here to support us in this very special occasion. You know, my mother worked for many years in this community. In actuality, she moved in this community March 18, 1962. So 54 years, I'm 55. She moved out here when I was 1 year old. And she's always been somebody who's been very active in the community, from throwing block parties to taking kids on field trips to help get the establishment of the community center we have out here to the building of the Carver Military School that we have today. So it's even, a lot of people don't even know, my mother was very instrumental in getting Providence Hospital reopened when it first closed, because it's supposed to serve as as a subsidy from Cook County because we didn't have a trauma center on the south side to be able to go. She was also instrumental in that medical clinic being built on 115th Street at Indiana, in the former police station. So to say a lot of the stuff that my mother has accomplished, not just, she wasn't selfish. She cared about everybody. And it wasn't about politics, it wasn't about money. It was about the environment and how they have an impact on human mankind. So we should be here today to salute and to congratulate, to say that we are having these conversations about environmental issues. We're talking about climate justice. We're talking about economic justice. We're talking about social justice. But now we need to get a little further than the discussions and the conversation. We need to start implementing these opportunities in our community. She talked about green technology 26 years ago. The need to change from to reduce the carbon emissions that we have in our air, to look at more renewable resources that we should be using today. So the education is going to begin today. And today I just wanted to announce the fact that we're going to start an Environmental Justice Museum just to honor the work, not only what's happening in Chicago, but communities around the globe. Because environmental issues are important. It's what we live for, it's what we breathe for, it's what we should strive for, and it's for the future generations of many of the young people that we see out here. They have a right. We all have a right, because one thing I tell everybody, and that we should be clear about, pollution do not go to heaven. Whatever goes up must come down, and we have to educate ourselves, because one of the biggest things that I know that I experience, because we're part of the problem. As consumerism, we have to be responsible for what we do to Mother Earth, because she is showing us as a result of what we do to her earth. You know, we see the torrential rains, we see where it used to be drought is flooding. So it's about education. It's about coming together. It's talking about bringing residents together. It's talking about bringing government together. It's talking about bringing academic schools together. And it's just talking about everybody coming to the table to find a common solution. And this is going to be one of the process that we're going to try to implement through the Hazel Johnson Environmental Justice Museum. So I want to just say to thank you for everybody that's coming out, my friends and everybody, because this is important. This is only the beginning of a future that we all equally should be proud of and to make these changes. So thank you. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to introduce, I have to say first and foremost, I really have to thank my elected officials. We are aligning ourselves to be able to work together, because in the past 26 years ago, this was Hazel Johnson Street for Environmental Justice wouldn't be happening. But because of Thaddeus Jones, the state representatives for our congressional area took the initiative to sponsor this bill, and it happened. I want to thank you personally from my heart, because I've been trying for nearly 10 years to get this done, because I wanted it done before she left this earth. But she's up in heaven. She's looking at all of us, and she's thanking you personally to taking this initiative. So let's represent state. Let's introduce State Representative Thaddeus Jones. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. How's everybody doing? It's a celebration. You guys got to be more excited than that. How are you doing? We know today is a good day. And you guys have heard the saying that you can tell how firmly planted a tree is by the roots that it bears. And not only the organization that is carried on in Hazel's name, but also Cheryl and the good work that PCR is doing in the community, but also that each and every one of you came out today to honor Hazel, means that her life, her work, and her dedication to environmental justice is not going away. So let's give a round of applause to that, to Cheryl, to the organization for continuing on, and for each and every one of you for coming out and continuing to fight. Excuse my voice, I got a cold, so don't touch me after this. But we want to, in the interest of time, not only recognize it wasn't just me who did this. When Cheryl brought this idea to me, we have not only my colleagues in the General Assembly, but the senators. But we knew that this had to be done because the work in Altgeld Gardens not only continued in the 60s and 70s and to this day, but the new people need to understand what happened in the past so you can continue to live today in a place that's not only free from environmental issues, but to continue to fight so our children understand the importance of protecting our earth. So my colleagues in the General Assembly who not only joined in supporting this House Joint Resolution 145, but it was our goal to make sure that we made today possible. So I want to bring them up and recognize them and allow them to say a few words. After they say a few words, I'll introduce Jack, and then we can all go across the street for the unveiling, which will be across the street. There are 3 signs. The first sign is here. The second sign will be down a little bit further on 130th. As you guys can see, the Hazel Johnson Environmental Justice Way sign will be born on 130th Street. So in order, we have Representative Will Davis, we have Representative Marcus Evans, we have a representative from Senator Harris' office. As you know, it takes not only 61 votes for anything to pass, but 30-something in the Senate. But I will say that this House Joint Resolution passed unanimously. No one voted against this. So this is how important today is, because everyone recognized. And then we also have our good Commissioner, Deborah Sims, who's going to say a few words as well. So I'll turn it over to Representative Will Davis, who wants to say a few words.
Thaddeus just told everybody he had a cold. I'll take some vitamin C after. I'm pleased and honored to be here today to celebrate this fantastic woman, as well as celebrate her legacy, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Crystal, her legacy. Soundtrack. How about that? So today is a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen. We're blessed to have the sun shining on us. Sure, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I did some sure.
No.
I did. I apologize. Sure. We're pleased to have the sun shining on us, which is Hazel shining down upon us, celebrating this day in heaven. Again, this is something has been long overdue, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody that knows Hazel knows her work. We just heard about it from Crystal. Everything that she's done to try to make our lives better as individuals. And one of the great things about working, I did say Cheryl.
Say Crystal.
I thought I said Cheryl. Crystal.
That's all right. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm confused today, so I apologize. I very, very much apologize. So, the thing about working in areas like this is that when we help minority communities, Altgeld will be considered a minority community. The thing about it is that we help everybody when we do things like that, because everybody benefits from this work. The idea of raising awareness about environmental justice is not just about Altgeld, it's about the entire city of Chicago, it's about the entire South Suburban area that's right a stone's throw away. So it's so very, very important that we recognize what's going on today and being here today to celebrate, so that everybody will see this sign on this street. And some people may not understand what this means, but hopefully if they see it, maybe it might inspire them to want to know what it means, and therefore become a part of the movement to make sure that environmental justice takes place throughout the entire city of Chicago, everywhere we live, and be a integral part of our lives. So again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. And please, it's because I'm catching Thaddeus. It's cold. It's messing with my head. That's what it is. So again, thank you all very much, and congratulations to my colleague who led this resolution.
Hey, you guys ease up off my twin. Don't criticize him. He knew it was Cheryl. And I am over it. It's just the stuffiness. So listen, the next speaker we're going to have is Representative Marcus Evans. Representative Evans is from the 33rd District. Representative Evans.
Thank you, and Cheryl. Again, I'm Marcus Evans. I'm a state representative for the 33rd District. My district is directly east. And especially to me, for a lot of reasons, I never had the pleasure of engaging with Hazel personally. Well, let me tell you something. We got Facebook and we got Yahoo and Google. And you can look it up and look at those early articles. This woman was not praised and celebrated for her work in the beginning. Like most folks, and just quoting one of my favorite quotes from Adlai Stevenson, the former governor of the state of Illinois, all progress has resulted from people who took unpopular positions. Please remember, this woman was not celebrated. It wasn't no Sierra Club celebrating. People wanted her to go away. People wanted her to disregard the fact that mostly black people, but definitely low-income folks. Because on the other side of this bridge, there's a lot of folks who are not black that are representing Hagwitch and the East Side communities, but they also benefited from the work of Hazel Johnson. So this woman put forth the work, and she did it when it was unpopular. So a round of applause for the woman we celebrate today. Woo! And definitely spread the message to the young people. You want to do something impactful, you got to do it when it's unpopular. Usually the things that are popular are easy. She did it. I celebrate her. I grew up on 124th and Wabash, so indirectly she affected my life because she fought for people in Argyle Gardens. I hung out in Argyle Gardens. Clearly, I have friends who went to Carver, and I'm a 10-year cancer survivor. So maybe you never know why. I had cancer when I was 21 years old growing up in this community. So this woman fought for me and my family. She's fighting for all of these young people, these future families. She set an example. Everybody who leave here, make sure you look at some of those early articles and really get an appreciation for what this woman did to stand up for rights when it was unpopular. And of course, we got her legacy continuing here, Cheryl. She's here continuing to fight because it's still unpopular sometimes to fight against what people want to do. So thank you to all of you all. And I'm dedicated in Springfield with Thaddeus Jones, who's leading the fight all the time. And my colleague Will Davis and all of us, Napoleon Harris, my Senator Donnie Trotter. We're pushing for environmental improvements, for good, clean jobs. We can do it. Thank you.
See, Marcus, I wasn't even going to mention, you mentioned a Republican. You quoted a Republican. I'm not even going to do that. But we have our next speaker, our commissioner. We have from the 4th District, Commissioner 5th District. See, I made a mistake too. From the 5th District, Commissioner Deborah Sims.
Thank you, everybody. This truly is a great day. I think this is long overdue, so I have to thank my colleagues, Thaddeus Jones and Marcus and Will Davis and Napoleon Harris for you guys championing this and making this happen. And I'm going to be real brief. Let me tell you a quick story about my introduction to Hazel. When I first ran in '94, there was a big issue about Sherwin Williams down the street and the big pile over here. And everybody said, don't get in that fight. They said, because if you get in that fight and you get into it with Hazel Johnson, you will never survive. So I said, well, wait a minute. That's a challenge to me. If it's a challenge, I'm going to take it on. So I came over here to meet Hazel. And when I met her, I couldn't understand why people were saying what they were saying. It's like she will get you. And she turned out to be the nicest person in the world. She was very, very knowledgeable about Argyle Gardens, and she took me way, way back. I mean, I think I stayed over here for about 6 hours just talking, just hearing what she had to say. And from that day on, we were the best of friends. And then I came over here another time. She wanted me to meet her daughter. And I came over here and met Cheryl, and I think I can say Cheryl and I became the best of friends as well. So Cheryl knows that whatever she needs, all she has to do is call. And if there's anything that we can do on the county side, we're there. So thank you very much, and I thank you for you guys for loving Hazel, because she was definitely somebody to be reckoned with, and she was definitely had the best interest of the environment and the people that she served. So we should all just throw a kiss up to her. Let's everybody just throw a kiss up to Hazel. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. When we started this venture, we invited many elected officials who have been a part of this We also had a representative, I don't know if they're here, from Representative Robin Kelly's office. Is anyone here from Robin Kelly's office? Now we want to thank Robin Kelly for her support as well. We have somebody from Senator Harris here. She's going to say a few words on behalf of Senator Harris. Carla, to say a few brief words. If there's anybody here from Alderman Bill's office, you want to come up quickly, and then we'll move forward. Carla?
Good morning. Today is a great day to honor legacy and to celebrate the life of Hazel Johnson. I'm Carla Burris, and I'm the District Office Manager for State Senator Napoleon Harris. Unfortunately, he can't be here today, but he wanted you to know that he was humbled and honored to be able to work with Thaddeus Jones to make this happen today. Hazel Johnson was actually a pioneer for environmental justice, and her work will live on forever, and it will be a benefit to all of us and to all of our kids and to all of our descendants. And what a better way to honor that legacy than to have a street named for her. So everyone who drives down 130th Street will look at that name and they will remember what she did for us and what she did for our future. Thank you.
So I mentioned we had a representative from Alderman Bill's office who definitely want to thank and say words as well. As Representative Evans mentioned, Senator Donnie Trotter, who couldn't be here today, Senator Harris, Senator Hutchinson couldn't be here today, but Senator Hutchinson and Cheryl worked closely together. Senator Hutchinson not only voted for this resolution, but she was the one who helped write some of the language of it as well. So I want to thank them. And I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl in a second, but every one of us and mothers in this room, we know how important it is to see our children grow, and we want them to fight on and keep our legacy. And today, I just want to not only congratulate Cheryl, because if my mother did the work that Hazel Johnson did, what better way than today to get here and invite all her friends and family to not only celebrate her legacy, but tell the young kids how important she is to this community and how important her legacy is. So let's give not only a round of applause to Cheryl for keeping this fight up, but each one of you for working with Cheryl to keep this fight up. Let's give her a round of applause and turn it back over to her. We have somebody from the 7th Ward want to say a few words, and then we'll turn it over to Jack. I'm sorry. Right, turn it over to Jack.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wally Shaw. I'm a BC Ward, and I just wanted to say thank you for Hazel Johnson, her whole legacy, and how she laid down a platform that really gave us an opportunity to really, for the youth. I just want to say thank you. It's just such a great and beautiful legacy, and I can't wait to help carry it on.
I also have a representative, AJ from Representative Sims' office, but we'll just recognize AJ. AJ's in the back. See. And I'll turn it over to Jack, who's going to talk about not only the work that the Sierra Club does, but also every one of you that has been helping as well. So.
Thank you, Representative. My name's Jack Darren. I'm the director of the Sierra Club here in Illinois, and what an honor it is to be here at Alcal Gardens to salute the mother of the environmental justice movement. I started working on these issues back in the late 80s, and when I met Hazel, I was so impressed, not only because she was so tough and strong and committed, as we've heard today, but also what she was up against. Back in that day, this was the place that Chicago dumped its garbage, burned its trash. We had a toxic waste incinerator over the other side of Lake Calumet. We had a proposal to kick 50,000 people out of their homes and pave over what nature's left here for an airport. This was a tough place to do that work, as been noted. And this was not only a dynamite worker who won all those battles ultimately, but she taught me and all of us a lot about the fundamental forces behind those challenges and those threats. That pollution preys on poverty, and that communities of color really bear the burden of the pollution in our society, and that we had to overcome those challenges and work together if we were going to make a difference. And that's exactly what Hazel taught me taught Chicago, taught the state of Illinois, taught presidents of this country. We all owe her a great debt for doing that. Today, we understand what environmental justice is, and we're committed to working with these communities and all of our partners to address it and overcome it. But at that time, we needed to be taught that lesson, and Hazel did that for all of us, and we are so grateful for her. Chicago has played such a huge role in so many important social justice struggles in this country, the labor movement, the civil rights movement, the women's suffrage movement. It's time that we start to celebrate the role that Chicago has played in the environmental justice movement as well. Not only in founding it here in Elk Gardens, but in continuing it. And I want to introduce two good friends who are real leaders, along with Cheryl, in Chicago's environmental justice community today, who are carrying that work forward here on the southeast side of Chicago, and communities across Chicago. I've got Pete Salazar from the Southeast Environmental Task Force, and from the Village Environmental Justice Organization.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today. You know, our founder, Marion Burns of the Southeast Environmental Task Force, worked closely with Hazel Johnson, and they, believe me, formed a dynamic duo when they had to do so. So it is extremely exciting for me to be here. I also didn't have the pleasure of knowing Hazel Johnson, but I know her daughter Cheryl, and we do a lot of car riding together on the way to meetings, and there isn't a time I'm sure that she doesn't mention her mother. I have never spent a day in her presence when she hasn't mentioned her mother in some capacity or in reference to something. So I feel like, even though I never knew the woman personally, I know her. And her daughter is so very proud of her, let me tell you. So I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm so glad everybody else is here today to share in this moment. I didn't want to do this right now, but we do have a fundraiser this Saturday for the Southeast Environmental Task Force. Please do join us at Club 812 at 3 o'clock if you can. They make some of the best fried chicken on the southeast side of Chicago, so do come and join us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Washman, and first and foremost, I just really want to thank Cheryl and thank the Elk Garden communities for opening your doors and allowing us to come celebrate with you all. We come from Little Village, and I did have the pleasure of meeting Hazel on a couple of occasions with Cheryl, and I think one thing that has always stood out to me most is Hazel and Cheryl were the first two women of color that I ever saw doing this work. And as a young lady Chicana from Little Village, to see two women kick ass in the most elegant way possible and kick ass with kindness was just one of the most empowering things. And so I have nothing but gratitude and thanks to Hazel and to Cheryl for leading the way for women of color all over this country and all over this world to truly be able to stand up and fight for what we know is right, fight for our families, fight for our communities. And the legacy that you continue and the legacy that I think we all hope to continue is to inspire more young women of color to take ownership of their communities, take ownership of their lives, and take ownership of what's happening in our city and fight back. Because if we don't fight, this is just going to continue to happen to us. And so together, that much stronger, we can kick that much more ass in a nice fashion. Thank you very much.
Before they leave, we are the three amigos. We the do and die. We are the partners in crime for environmental justice. We fight hard. That's right. Kim fight hard. Peggy fight hard. If y'all heard about the Petco situation, if you heard about the Crawford coal plant, fire plant incinerator over in Little Village, we're trying to make our environment healthy in all aspects of the way, whether it's our water, whether it's our land, it's our air. You know, we're fighting, but we fight for everybody. So everybody needs to join this fight because it's only the beginning. And I really truly thank you for being around, for hanging in the car with you, Peggy, all the time. And thank you. And I'd like to give acknowledgement that Mayor Rahm Emanuel sent a letter. And I just
16 shots and cover up.
You're welcome to come up here and see it after I read the last paragraph, but I think this was very honorable, even though he's not here, but he's acknowledging this day. This is a very important day. He said, on the behalf of the city of Chicago, I join you in celebrating the renaming of 130th Street to the Hazel Johnson EJ Way. The community and the future generation will now have a daily reminder of the impact that Ms. Johnson had on their life. And I got to mention this. My mother met Ron Emanuel when he was with the Clinton administration. They used to work on a task force called the Common Sense Initiative. The Common Sense Initiative looked at the industry, the printing, and it was one other sector of the industry that they really used to work together. So just to see that he still acknowledged her and gave her this proclamation, I really thank him. So I'm going to turn it back over to... Hello. Also, from a national level, if you understand the impact of what the work we do is not just local, it's a national movement that we work with. And I want to bring up Lula Odom and Peyton Wilkins. And they work on environmental justice issues on a national level. But I want to say this about Peyton Wilkins. When he joined this movement, he was in diapers. And now he gone to college, graduated, and now he's the national. You give him their title, but he has a national responsibility for this environmental justice movement that we in. So I'm really proud of Peyton because many times he sat on my lap as a kid, learning about this, and he spoke eloquently about what the water quality in Flint, Michigan, because he's from Detroit, Michigan. So for further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Peyton, and Peyton, you introduce Lula Funny.
Thank you. Again, my name is Peyton Wilkins. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm the National Director of the CARE teams for the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists. We're pretty much a liaison role between community-based organizations, labor union members, and other people who have leadership roles in making decisions to make our environmental quality in our life better, right? We have 55 chapters across the United States, and in 22 cities we do trainings, but I really don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the mother of environmental justice and the legacy that she left. And one of the lessons that I learned from her that rings on today and I will take with me to my grave. Through her actions, I know that power is not given. It is taken. Right. She didn't play around. When it came to her people, when it came to her family, when it came to what was right and what was just, she took nothing less than when she knew what was right. So this renaming of a street is long overdue. It's not enough. I'm excited to hear that we have an environmental justice museum coming in her name. But it's our responsibility, our duty as our generation to either reject or accept the legacy that she has created. Thank you. I'm about to introduce you one of my other mothers. I have dozens of mothers in this movement. Ms. Lula Odom, the National Coordinator for Training at the International Chemical Workers Union and Center. Thank
you. Hello, everybody. I know a lot of people in this group because, let me just go back and correct my title. I'm from the International Chemical Workers Union. We actually fund environmental justice work for the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists. I'm also the National Labor Liaison and Public Policy Director for those CARE teams, and I'm able to bring training to community groups. Our Gale Gardens, where Cheryl through PCR happens to be one of those 22 cities. I want to say this is about Miss Hazel. I believe that before the foundations of the earth was ever formed, that she had a destiny to do what she did in this community and all across this country. The spirit never dies. That happens to be my belief. It's eternal from the beginning to the end. And in that, we're having a human experience. Miss Hazel realized her human experience, and she owned it. I'm going to encourage all of you, don't let her legacy die. It's not going to die. We'll remember it when we drive up and down 130th Street. Every time you look up and you see it, You remember the sacrifices that she made, because trust me, this work requires sacrifice. We want everybody to get involved and help carry on, help upgird Cheryl in this work, because it's not easy. It's hard getting people to come out. Volunteer now has become, pay me and I'll come do it. That's not what it's about. We got to make a change. So I don't want to take more time, because look, this is dangerous for them to give me this mic, because I ain't talking long time about it. Okay, I'm done. Peace.
Let's give them a round of applause. See, everybody else get the round of applause clap, but I don't. I thought this brother back here was he was getting excited. He was really into it from Flint, Michigan. But we know how that situation is and how important it is that we all get involved. Listen, for the next few steps, we're going to make sure we go across the street and do the dedication. The dedication will be across the street in the interest of safety and in the interest of time. I would ask that everyone go to the corner. I know Cheryl wants to lock arms. Maybe we can lock arms while a few of us go across the street and do the unveiling. So if everyone wants to make their way, and then you can explain what else is going on today briefly when we come back. So we're going to go to the unveiling across the street. So if you want to go in the interest of time and safety, I would encourage everyone to stay across the street, because they can't keep it blocked off that long. And we're going to pull the sign down and come back and finish up.
All right, guys,
so
thanks for joining us.
We are make your way
actually going to start walking the corner to go check out the.
A few of us will go and do the unveiling. And, you want to have everybody lock arms, line up by 130th and lock arms. So quickly, if we can line up right by 130th and lock arms, and then we'll do the unveiling.
A shameless plug. A shameless plug. By the way, we're having fundraiser.
What's her name? What is it? Come on, tell them about your fundraiser.
It is.
You didn't get a t-shirt here. Hey,
no, I didn't. I got it for home.
A shameless plug. Hey.
We should hit up Jack Darren before he leaves and let him know about the funding that Ron dedicated to the
Marcus said the date for the 28th hasn't changed.
Yeah. I forgot. I'm live streaming. I forgot. So for those of you watching right now, people have kind of crossed the street right now. Traffic is kind of being diverted. Everybody's coming to watch the unveiling of the street sign. You see it's a pretty large crowd. And this is what's going on. We're on 130th Street, so 130th going down is being named in honor of Hazel Johnson. And right now, like I said, people are crossing the streets to see the unveiling. Police are working to divert traffic to kind of go around from where people are at right now. So people are locking arms right now, kind of honor. I lock arms with you. don't know if you guys could catch that, but Cheryl was she was talking about how we don't want to just use this, remember this moment, but we want to we want to continue to struggle. And what I like that you said is we should go and put it out to the world about that we need to lock and love for environmental justice and in memory of Hazel Johnson, and to continue to struggle, continue to fight, and to see the signs that's been unveiled, and but thank you guys for joining us. I'm actually about to sign out because my phone battery's about to die. But peace, love, lock and love. Remember that, lock and love for environmental justice. Talk to you guys later. Peace.